Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for joining in for our Bhagavatam study session. Let's start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Naro. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for confirming that I am audible. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, so so praying to the lordships if we can do this session nicely for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. All right, so I had just done the prayers, so we'll just do the last part. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham mande Shri Gurun dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat. आराध्य भगवान् ब्रजेशतनया स्तद्धाम वृन्दावनम् रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधू वर्गेण वा कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणममलं प्रेम पुमर्तो महान् श्रीचैतन्यमहाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्र धरनापर अयि दीनदयाद्रनाथ है मथुरानाथ कदावयोग्य से हृदयं त्वदालोककातरं दैत्यभ्राम्यते किं करोम्यहम्. Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandavat Pranams. Sorry for the technical glitches. I don't know why it is happening. All right. So now that you all have confirmed that I'm audible, we'll quickly continue with our Srimad Bhagavatam. We've been studying the prayers of Kunti Maharani, right? While we are not going to imitate, asking for more and more troubles, these are wonderful prayers, because if we recite these wonderful prayers rendered by the pure devotees of the Lord will remember us, right? And that is the goal of life. We want to please the Lord, and the Lord is pleased when we make the Lord remember these wonderful devotees. Of course, the Lord never forgets his pure devotees, but for our own purification, it is very wonderful that we are able to recite these wonderful prayers, especially by Mother Kunti, especially by Gajendra, especially by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the Shikshashtakam prayers that we recite every day in the morning, isn't it? Before we start the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mantra. So all of these prayers, what do they do to us? They purify us. They make the Lord. We are actually taking shelter of these devotees, right? I can't help but say this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he is Krishna himself, who's incarnated as a pure devotee of the Lord. He himself stood behind the Garuda Stamba to take darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maya, Sudarshan ji. Right? Why? Because when we stand behind a pure devotee, we are seen by the Lord. Otherwise, what do? We only try to see the Lord. But what can we see with our eyes? Ada Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyehi sevon mukehi jivvadav swayam eva suratyadaha. We cannot see the Lord by our eyes. We cannot hear the Lord's voice through our ears. We cannot perceive the Lord through our material mind, our material intelligence. Sevon mukehi jivvadav. When we render service to the Lord, under the instructions of our gurus, when we stand behind our gurus and pure devotees of the Lord and try to render seva to the Lord, whatever has been told to us, then swayam eva suratyadaha. That is the way we can see the Lord. That is the way we can perceive the Lord in our hearts by through the shastra chakshushaha, through the drishti that is provided by our gurus. Right? Again, I can't but curtail myself or restrict myself from saying this. Right? There is one husband who found his wife very beautiful. Even when Ranganatha procession was happening, and everybody was singing and dancing and behind and going behind the urvalam, as they call it, right? The Vigraha procession that was happening. Right? This man was going, he was not looking at the Lord, but he was looking at his wife, and he was walking in the opposite direction like that. So Ramanujacharya saw this person, and he asked his disciples to go and ask, what happened to this guy? Why is he turning and walking? And why is he not taking darshan of the deity? He's looking at his wife. Right? And then this person, when he meets Ramanujacharya, he tells, right, he's not a devotee, and he directly tells Ramanujacharya that my wife's eyes are so beautiful. Right? I can't but take my eyes off my wife's beautiful eyes. And Ramanujacharya tells him, tomorrow morning you meet me at 4:30 at Ranganath temple entrance. I will show you something that's much, much more beautiful. And this man agrees that if I find something more beautiful than my wife's eyes, right, I will give up attachment to her, and also will take darshan of that, whatever you're showing me throughout my life. So in this way, all of us, I believe, have visited Tiruchirappalli, right, where Ranganath Swami temple is there. All of us have taken darshan, but we have not developed love of God. Why? Because we take the darshan of the deity, but we've not developed that love for the Lord, due to which we can see the Lord. But look at the fortune of this person also attracted to his wife's eyes. Ramanujacharya personally took him, and he said, now look at the deity, look at Sri Ranganath. Right? Do you find him beautiful? And this person has got tears in his eyes, flowing down from his eyes, because Ramanujacharya has given the drishti to this person. And this person gave up his attachment to wife and other things and engaged his wife also. And together they were serving Ranganath throughout their life. Right? So how do we get darshan of the Lord? How do we see the Lord? It is only by the blessings of our gurus. So for that, what we have to do? We have to serve, satisfy and please our gurus. And through their mercy, we'll be able to see the Lord, we'll be able to experience the Lord in our lives. So on that note, let us study the prayers of Maharani Kunti. That Kunti was able to see the Lord, and she is glorifying the Lord. Namo Pankaja Nabhaya, Namo Pankaja Maline, Namo Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajangre, like that. In these choices poetry, Uttama Shloka Gunanu Varnane, right? She's describing the beauty of the Lord. She's describing the wonderful qualities of the Lord. She's expressing her own humble position. So as we recite these prayers, we want to seek the blessings of Kunti Maharani, so that we may also develop this love for the Lord, develop this devotion for the Lord, and this way of surrender to the Lord in all circumstances, whether of happiness or of distress, right? We want to develop that surrender to the Lord. Whatever the Lord does is for my good. Let me surrender to the Lord. Let me serve the Lord according to the instructions that I have received from my gurus. Yeah. So that is the mood in which we want to continue the prayers. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let me start sharing my screen. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, I believe the devotees are able to see my screen. So we are starting from 1.8.22. Okay, this is the verse. Namo Pankajanabhaya, Namaha Pankajamaline, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. Okay, Anusha Mataji, and then Chitra Krishna Sevni Mataji, Subbara Prabhu, Deval Mataji. Let's quickly go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanvat Pranams. Synonyms: Namaha, all respectful obeisances. Pankajanabhaya, unto the Lord who has a specific depression resembling a lotus flower in the center of his abdomen. Namaha, obeisances. Pankajamaline, one who is always decorated with a garland of lotus flowers. Namaha, obeisances. Pankajanetraya, one whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower. Namaste, respectful obeisances unto you. Pankajangraye, unto you the soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers, and who are therefore said to possess lotus feet. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here are some of the specific symbolical marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women, Shudras, the labor class, are the Dvijabandhus, or the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand the transcendental subjective matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms, etc. of the supreme absolute truth. Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Archa Vigraha who descends to the material world just to distribute favors to the fallen souls, including the above mentioned women, Shudras, and Dvijabandhus. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes as the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen, and thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore, the Lord is known as the Pankajanabi. The Pankajanabi Lord accepts the Archa Vigraha as transcendental form in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewel, a form made of paint, a form drawn on sand, etc. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women, Shudras, and Dvijabandhus, provided they agree to visit the temple of worship in different forms made for them. Such temple visitors are not idolaters, as alleged by some men with a poor fund of knowledge. All the great acharyas established such temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent, and one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship while one is actually in the category of Shudras and the women or less. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet because the Lord might feel ashamed, and thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet, from the waist of the Lord gradually raising to the face, and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much. So we all remember, as we were reading this, all of us would have remembered the Damodar Arti, right? When you're performing, what do we do? 4, 2, 3, and 7, right? We start with the lotus feet, 4 times to the lotus feet, twice to the Nabhi of the Lord, Namo Pankaja Nabhaya, right? And then 4 to 3 times to the lotus face of the Lord, and 7 times around the body of the Lord, just as Mother Yashoda did, and just as Mother Kunti did. So like that, when we do Archa Vigraha Seva in our own home, what are we doing? We are slowly developing that. What is that? प्रेमाञ्जन सुरित भक्ति विलोचनेन सन्ता सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरम् अचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. So Prabhupada is very intelligent. So Prabhupada has engaged us in all of the senses, right? Actually, simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, it is nimitta. It is just alone, it is sufficient for us to love God. But we are so much preoccupied. Even while chanting, we have hundreds of engagements. We want to look at the mobile. We want to talk to people. We have to get our children ready to go to the school. We do this, that. We do at least 4 rounds. Karke, then we do other things. Come back to another 4 rounds. Like that, all we do. But somehow or the other, we try to at least complete during the Brahma Muhurta time by 7:30. We try to complete our minimum 16 rounds of pleasure of Prabhupada. So when things are not so good, when things are difficult, when we try to perform the instructions of our gurus, we get special mercy, right? And Srila Prabhupada is so wonderful. Prabhupada has also given us engagement of other senses, because this chanting with the tongue and hearing with the ear is alone enough for us to attain Krishna Prema, but we are not able to do that properly. Okay, so Prabhupada has given us this beautiful international state of Krishna consciousness, where we come together to hear about Krishna, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, we are hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. And then the Lord, and within ISKCON, we have the beautiful deities where we feast our eyes on the beautiful darshan of the Lord, right? This is a wonderful period between Janmashtami and Radhashtami, right? Every day is a meditation where we are meditating and preparing our consciousness, because if we please Radharani, we can please Krishna. And Radharani will take us and, recommend to Krishna in such a way that Krishna cannot refuse us, right? Again, I'm remembering Amarendra Prabhu's lecture. He says, if Radharani gives our file and tells Krishna, she's a wonderful devotee, please give her Krishna Prema, Krishna will immediately give Krishna Prema. But if Krishna were to look at our file, my file, for that reason, right? Put it in the dustbin. Abhi bought many lifetimes more, right? But then if Radharani recommends, then my file is passed, right? Simply by the causeless mercy of Srimati Radharani. So this is a wonderful period that we want to serve, satisfy, and please Srimati Radharani. Kindly give us devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Kindly engage us in your service to Lord Sri Krishna. And let me serve in a way to become the servant of the servant of the servant, simply for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, and not have any ulterior motives. If you pray like that, especially at this time, Srimati Radharani is overflowing with mercy all the time. But we can also take and make our hearts recipients of such causeless mercy of Srimati Radharani, right? So we all know how to worship. When we worship the Lord, Archa Vigraha Seva, that is also given by Prabhupada. We engage all of our hands. We perform the arati with our hand. We ring the bell with the left hand. We see the form of the Lord. We look at the lotus feet. We go over to the navel of the Lord, to the lotus feet of the Lord, and then we offer arati. All these are rituals. But then when we perform it with the right spirit, which is of devotion and love to the Lord, then they become spiritual. Then they will give us the spiritual benefit of always being able to remember Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. So again, I cannot stop, but I have to say this. Yesterday, Guru Maharaj had mentioned in his Jayapataka Swami, Guru Maharaj has mentioned, I completed reading the Nectar of Devotion. Right? I encourage everybody to please study Srila Prabhupada's books. Right? So what better way we can please our Guru Maharaj? So easy. We only have to study. We don't have to understand, assimilate, live. Right? Guru Maharaj simply saying, study Srila Prabhupada's books. Continuous studying of Srila Prabhupada's books with that sincerity, with that enthusiasm and patience. By Guru Maharaj's mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we will be able to imbibe it in our life. So we have to simply try our best. To what we have to do? Simply follow instructions. That means pick up the book and read every day. Read the purport by Srila Prabhupada, read the translation, read the verse. If we simply study Srila Prabhupada's books, we will please our gurus, and in this way, we will reawaken our love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. And of course, we'll please Srimati Radharani. Right? If we please our gurus, we'll please Srimati Radharani, and Radharani will recommend us to Krishna. And then, Krishna will give us his causeless mercy, like that. On recommendation. Without recommendation, fail. Text number 23. Yatha ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धार्तिचिरं शुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वयैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्. Okay, Chitra Krishna Sevni Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Synonyms,
Hare Krishna, synonyms. Yata, as it were, Rishikesha, the master of the senses, Kalena, by the envious, Devaki, the mother of Sri Krishna, Kamsena, by King Kamsa, Ruddha, imprisoned, Atichiram, for a long time, Shucha Arpita, distressed, Vimochita, released, Ahamcha, also myself, Saha Atmaja, also with my children, Vibho, O great one, Tvaya eva, by your lordship, Natena, as the protector, Muhuhu, constantly, Vipadganath, from a series of dangers. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Gija. Translation, O Rishikesha, master of the senses and lord of lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious king Kansa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. Purport. Devaki, the mother of Krishna and the sister of King Kansa, was put into prison along with her husband Vasudeva because the envious king was afraid of being killed by Devaki's eighth son Krishna. He killed all the sons of Devaki who were born before Krishna, but Krishna escaped the danger of child slaughter because he was transferred to the house of Nanda Maharaja, Lord Krishna's foster father. Kunti Devi, along with her children, was also saved from a series of dangers. But Kunti Devi was shown far more favor because Lord Krishna did not save the other children of Devaki, whereas he saved the children of Kunti Devi. This was done because Devaki's husband Vasudeva was living, whereas Kunti Devi was a widow and there was none to help her except Krishna. The conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee who is in greater dangers. Sometimes he puts his pure devotees in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. The more the attached is there for the Lord, the more success is there for the devotee. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Pranam Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is very wonderful, right? Akinchana Gochara, right? What do we want to do? We want to worship Saraswati Devi. I want to get good marks. I have to get a good job. Worship Lakshmi Devi also simultaneously. I want to get a lot of wealth. And also chant Hare Krishna in the morning. We chant Hare Krishna also, right? We have a lot of what do you call backup plan, right? We are very expert in this backup plan. It doesn't work like that, right? Akinchana Gochara, someone who surrendered to the Lord completely. I don't have anything else. I don't surrender to anyone else. Whatever I want, I will ask you, Krishna. If you want, you give me. If you don't want to give me, I don't want it. I will live my life without it. That is the kind of surrender that Krishna expects, right? It is how much. And if Krishna is putting us in a helpless situation, that means, oh, I don't have anyone else to go through. Here also we see Kunti Maharani and Devaki are all pure devotees. But yet Kunti Maharani, Krishna is favoring more because Kunti Maharani did not even have her husband to help her. Because even if we have a husband, what we should do, we should surrender to Krishna. What can our husbands do in this world? Right? Half the time we are pacifying them and we are saying it is okay. You know, in promotion, it is okay. Next time we will get. Right? But Krishna is our ultimate husband. And we should understand that if we surrender to anyone else other than Krishna, whether it is our father, mother, right? Yedana yaubana putra parijana iteke ache para titire kamala tala jala jivana tala mala bajahu haripada nitire. Right? So if we are busy serving and depending on our husbands and our children, of course we have to serve them because they've been given to us by the Lord, and we as women also have the advantage. We get 50% credit of the devotional service done by our husband also. So whatever Harinam Prabhu does, 50% I'm getting benefit also. But then we should know that benefit is also accorded because Krishna is accorded in the Vedas. That this benefit that of a devotional surrender husband will come to you. For that also I have to depend on my husband, and I have to depend on Krishna. Because it is only by the mercy of Krishna that I've got Harinam Prabhu as a husband also, right? So, I should thank the original cause. If I thank the original cause, all of the intermediate causes are already taken care of. Just like Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, don't have to thank the demigods. The demigods are giving you. Harinam Prabhu is giving me 50% of his, the effect of devotional service is doing. But who gave Harinam Prabhu? Harinam Prabhu was given by Krishna. isn't it? So if I thank Krishna, Harinam Prabhu, all of my family members who are so helpful in me executing a little bit of devotional service, I'm thanking everybody. But if I go on thanking every single person, I don't have enough capacity to thank everybody, because there are so many people who have contributed towards my being in Krishna consciousness. I will not be able to thank everyone adequately enough because of my limitations. But if I simply thank Krishna, thank you Krishna, thank you Guru Maharaj, thank you Srila Prabhupada, then if they are satisfied, they are pleased, everybody else will be pleased. But the other way, it will not work. Hardly if I'm able to thank 10 people. What about the millions of others who have helped me come into Krishna consciousness? So, an easy way, an intelligent devotee, what he will do? Simply thank Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and all of our gurus. If we thank, they are pleased and they are satisfied with our devotional service, then all of our husband, our children, our family, our relatives, our community, our society, the entire country will be pleased with us. But it does not work the other way around like that. All right, let's quickly go on to the next verse. So Krishna is the root. Yata taror moola nishechanena, right? If we water the root of the tree, skanda bhujopashaka, the branches, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, they all get satisfied, right? So the more we develop attachment to the Lord, we'll be able to develop attachment, not attachment, affection to it. Then we'll be able to bring everybody closer to the Lord. And that is the success of a disciple, right? Not only he follows instructions of the gurus and develop attachment for Krishna, but he should be able to serve the people around him, the family, the society, the community, in such a way that they also develop attachment for Krishna. And that is the success. And that pleases Guru and Krishna more. All right. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichritah Mridhe Mridhe Aneka Maharatashtrato Draunyashtratascha. Synonyms, what translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu, you have to quickly go ahead. Yes.
Yes, Vishal from poison, Mahagnesh from the great fire, Purushada, the man-eaters, Darshanat, by combating Asat, vicious, Sabhyaha, assembly, Vanavasa, exiled to the forest, Krichrataha, suffering, Mrudhe, again and again in the battle, Aneka, many, Maharuta, great generals, Astrataha, weapons, Drauni, the son of Dronacharya, Astrataha from the weapon of Cha and Asma, indicating past tense, Hare, oh my Lord, Abhirakshitaha, protected completely. My dear Krishna, translation by His Divine Grace, Jai Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. My dear Krishna, your Lordship has protected us from the poisoned cake, from the great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought, and now you have saved us from the weapon of Aswathama. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. The list of dangerous encounters is submitted herein. Devaki was once put by her envious brother, otherwise she was well. But Kunti Devi and her sons were put into one difficulty after another for years and years together. They were put into trouble by Duryodhana and his party due to the kingdom. And each and every time the sons of Kunti were saved by the Lord. Once Bhima was administered poison in a cake. Once they were put into the house made of shellock and set afire. And once Draupadi was dragged out and attempts were made to insult her by stripping her naked in the vicious assembly of Kurus. The Lord saved Draupadi by supplying the immeasurable length of cloth, and Duryodhana's party failed to see her naked. Similarly, when they were exiled in the forest, Bhima had to fight with the man-eater demon, Hidimba Rakshasa, but the Lord saved him. So it was not finished there. After all these tribulations, there was the great battle of Kurukshetra, and Arjuna had to meet such great generals as Drona, Bhishma, and Karna, all powerful fighters. And at last, even when everything was done away with, There was the Brahmastra released by the son of Dronacharya to kill child within the womb of Uttara. And so the Lord saved the only surviving descendant of the Kuru, Maharaja Parikshit. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So we see here that we are given troubles according to our level of Krishna consciousness, right? Just like, a first standard student will get a first standard question paper, right? A 10th standard student will get a 10th standard question paper, right? If you fail in the first standard, the next year you will have to again repeat the first standard, isn't it? So Krishna gives us tests according to our ability to tolerate and what a little bit challenging, right? Of course, it will be a little bit challenging. If we're able to pass the test, then we go to the next level of bhakti. We evolve ourselves more in bhakti, right? But then if we fail, then the Krishna is so merciful. Krishna gives us another chance. We will be put to test more and more at the same level. But when we pass the test, then we go to the next level of bhakti, right? Right from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. The Anartha Nivritti stage is so big, right? Anartha Nivritti, because so much of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya is there. So many tests are there to test. Am I surrendering to Krishna or am I depending on my own intelligence, right? So in that way, we try our best according to what we've studied from the scriptures. We develop the intelligence. What should I best decide in this particular situation that can be pleasing to Guru and Gauranga, right? If you're able to apply the teachings of, because Prabhupada's examples are so practical, right? Sometimes when you read the books, sometimes we are stuck in a situation. We immediately remember, okay, what Prabhupada has told. What is it if I do will please Prabhupada? So when we develop that surrender mood, Krishna will help us, right? What is that verse? Teshamevanugam partham aham ajnanajam tamaha. Our ignorance will be destroyed by Krishna. Right? Aham ajnanajam tamah nashayami atma bhavastu jnana deepena bhashvataha. That lamp of transcendental knowledge will lighten our hearts, which will enable us to take the right decisions in life's and Gauranga. By the grace of Radha Krishna, we'll be able to pass the test, provided we sharpen our intelligence by continuous study of the scriptures. We do mananam, we do nidhi dhyasanam, right? Not just shravanam. We have to do shravanam, we have to do kirtanam, we have to also do mananam. And you also need to do nidhi dhyasanam. That means, how can I apply these principles in my life, right? And His Grace Radhesham Prabhu was saying, those who sweat during peace bleed less during war. Right? When things are going very nicely, that time you should practice Krishna consciousness so nicely. Chant more rounds, hear more Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Try to do mananam, try to do nidhi dhyasanam, how I can apply these principles in my life. So that when there is a fire situation, when there is war, when there is trouble, we are able to apply these principles because of the strength, the spiritual strength that we've generated, because of serving our gurus, because of our pleasing our gurus. By their mercy, we're able to cross over all of these troubles and pass our tests and come out with flying colors. When we come out with flying colors, again we become more surrendered to the Lord, right? Otherwise, how are we able to pass our tests? We are able to pass our tests only because we are dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And we are able to pass. Then we also develop a sense of gratitude. Gratitude comes along with humility and then surrender to the Lord. We'll be able to pass all the tests by the grace of Guru and Gauranga. Okay, so we have 5 more minutes. All right. Okay, so text number 25. Okay, we have Deval Mataji and Sudha Mataji. Okay, so maybe text 25 will end. A translation can be read. Synonyms and translation with Deval Mataji. Sudha Mataji can read the purport. Vipadaha, this is a very beautiful verse. We cannot imitate it, but we should understand the mood of Kunti Maharani. Vipadaha santu tashashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yat syad apunar bhava darshanam. Okay, Deval Mataji, please read the synonyms and translation, and purport Mataji can read. Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam. Synonyms: Vipadaha, calamities; Santu, let there be; Taha, all; Shashwat, again and again; Tatra, there; Tatra, and there; Jagat Guru, O Lord of the universe; Bhavataha, your; Darshanam, meeting; Yat, that which; Syat, is; Apunaha, not again; Bhava Darshanam, seeing repetition of birth and death. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we would see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and deaths. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sudha Mataji, go ahead. Purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Thanks, Mataji.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there's some calamity, there's no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger following him in a dream and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad Pranam. So I'm remembering one example I think Radhesham Prabhu gave. I'm not remembering which devotee. Very, very wonderful example. Somebody's car, a new car, got scratched. And he's seeing from the top, it's a new Mercedes Benz car. Okay, we have how many minutes? We have 1 minute only. Okay, we can discuss this example tomorrow in greater detail, but we can meditate on this, right? Sometimes we feel we are overcome with so much of problems. That's only because of our attachment to it, right? The Mercedes Benz car, he's looking at it from the 20th floor. Oh my God, my Mercedes Benz. Somebody has come and dashed it, and it is and it is completely destroyed. He rushes down. He goes down and sees it is my neighbor's car. My car is intact. And the next, what does he say? Oh my God, I'm so happy. It is not my car. The same car, the same Mercedes car has got burnt. The next one, wherever is the one next is okay, but he's happy because his own car is not burnt. It's not the burning of the car that is causing the grief, but it is my attachment to my car that is causing the grief. So when we understand that I am a spirit soul, then we will not have these kind of attachments to these material objects. And to that extent, these are all self-created suffering, right? So we'll do manthan on this tomorrow, right? So let us stop creating more problems for ourselves. Let us surrender to the Lord, knowing well that Krishna is the owner of everything. Let us engage everything in the service of the Lord, and in this way we will save ourselves of all of the various trouble. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtadhishatarine